Hi, everybody. All right, I just made a video to talk about more about how you open up to your psychic senses, how you connect with your spirit guides. What is psychic sight look like? What is it like to experience it? How do you use psychic senses in order to translate psychic sight? Talk about all kinds of stuff in that video. It's 40 minutes long, so it's packed full of information. It's well worth watching. This video, I want to talk about specifically about talking with alien beings. That was a really big part of my life. Talking with alien beings has been a really big part of my life for, I don't know, from about age 28 to, 27 ish. I don't know. It's hard to put a date on that because I didn't quite realize I was talking to alien beings when I was talking to them. I thought they were spirits or ghosts, but I'm starting to discern the difference between a spiritual consciousness and an alien consciousness. It still gets fluttery and I could overlook it sometimes, but also it's sometimes I don't know if it's actually I am talking to my own reflection. It's interesting. We're all reflections of each other. We're all a part of the oneness. So am I actually talking to an alien being or am I talking to myself? Isn't that a fascinating explorative thought? Because when I'm talking to you and it is a human being talking to another human being, it feels like I'm talking to you. I'm not talking to myself. But the reality is, am I talking to you or am I talking to a reflection of myself? Both are true. So when I talk to spirits, I'm also talking to a reflection of myself because we're all in the oneness, right? And so sometimes I have a real conversation with real alien beings. Sometimes I have conversation with real spiritual beings. And sometimes I think I'm talking to alien beings, but then I start to discover I was just kind of journeying in my own spiritual atmosphere and I was exploring just an emotional or mental body kind of understanding of a certain dynamic reflection that looks like an alien being, looks like it, and feels like it has a consciousness, but is actually like a past life thing or something. So those always throw me for a loop when that happens. It's all part of the experience. It's all part of developing that robust understanding and connectedness with the infinite universe. Physical, spiritual universe as a spiritual universe. Doesn't feel like it's a spiritual universe because we have integrated so much physicality to our experience that we have lost our spiritual identities. You know what I mean? How we're struggling, we're putting our hands up and saying, I want to have that spiritual ability, but I feel like I've lost it. I don't know how to connect with it. All psychic people will tell you you're psychic. And you're like, well, if I was psychic, then how come I can't do what you can do? How come you can do what you can do and I can't figure out how to do it? Some of us psychics didn't realize we were psychic. I didn't realize that I didn't consider myself a psychic. I knew I talked to the spirit realm, but I didn't consider that a psychic gift. I just considered that normal. and obviously it wasn't exactly normal because it wasn't something I really was comfortable talking to other people about. I just kept it to myself. So I want to talk more about alien conversations, alien experiences. I kind of closed that part of me off. Right up until like 2015, I was still having a lot of alien communications, and right up until about June of 2016, I really took a back burner on that. I had a lot of strange experiences that took place in 2016 and they were really baffling to me because you kind of live on a consistent string of life pattern and then weird happens and you're just like, what the heck? And when weird happens in a spiritual level, it's even more, and it's a disturbing weird, it's even more difficult to tolerate because you're sort of emotionally derailed, mentally derailed, so confused. My whole spiritual experience has always been very positive, very loving, non-threatening, a very beautiful experience, but I have had some very traumatizing spiritual experiences. And those have taken place when I start to have some awakening of certain things that I can't wrap my head around it and I can't make sense of what that means or what I can feel it, I can see it, but I can't make sense of it. And it creates such a sort of stigmatism that all of a sudden I sort of lose myself in the emotion, right? And then I get kind of vulnerable to sort of energetic nightmare type experiences. So I have dealt with psychic attack experiences. And when you're in a psychic attack experience, you do it to yourself. We have to admit, we do it to ourselves. It doesn't just happen to you. You actually open up to it, and then you have to find a way to release from it. How do you release from it? You choose love. And you allow love to be the forefront of the experience. You start healing yourself, you start discovering your needs, you start letting go of the emotional connection with the experience. You don't listen to anything those jerks have to say. You don't allow yourself to feel anything that they're going to have you feel, because it can feel very acidic and very burny, and it's all demonic influence. It's all an energy influence. So how I can enter into your spiritual atmosphere and share love with you, if you open your spiritual atmosphere up, you could experience something quite acidic and disturbing. The thing is if your belief system, if you don't believe that's even possible, that'll never happen to you. You could have a million beings try to derail you and influence you with some sort of burning experience, but you're like, I don't even believe that's real, so no, that's not going to happen. It won't happen. It's all about your belief system. It's all about what you believe is real and what you believe is true. Trust me, there is a version of a reality that, yes, this is actually happening to me, but the version of the reality, it needs to be shifted. You need to alter your pattern of truth and understanding about what is real and what you just don't associate with. So how I've gotten out of those, I've just chosen to choose love and choose to call for angelic help, and no angelic help helps. And then you slowly kind of wiggle your way out, and then it becomes a part of the past. But it's not very fun to experience. So June, I had my first psychic attack type nightmares, and they were very terrible, very, very terrible. They were so bad, I was on the verge of suicide, because I didn't know, I couldn't tolerate it. It was physically painful, mentally, emotionally terrible to endure. But now I have such an understanding, I have such a relationship of what is going on here, that I don't relate to those experiences anymore. Not like I had at the time. I've come through that library of experience, and now I have a new vocal piece of what I can do to help others through those experiences. So simultaneously, while I'm having this sort of spiritual nightmare, I started to have very unusual experiences, because the energy shifts were so intense. They were so intense in 2016. I was experiencing paranoia. I'm not even a paranoid person. I was experiencing fear, and I've never been afraid of anything. It's just, you know what, if I'm going to die, I'm just going to die, I guess. Life happens. You just allow life to happen. I mean, if I'm going to live my life being afraid of living, then that's no life at all, And so the energy shifts were really hard on me to try and find my footing, find myself again, because I've always been a really positive person. I've always believed in the good of all, and when the good of all kind of lets me down and something bad like this happens, it's just confusing, Well, I started having really strange alien sort of experiences. But alien beings have always been quite loving, and even in their strangeness, even in their different versions of a consciousness, they've never been terrible to me. They haven't tried to hurt me in a way that was intentionally meaning to actually hurt me, Human beings can intentionally want to hurt each other. Alien beings don't actually, the ones that don't have the emotional bodies, they may feel like empty, soulless beings, but they're actually, their intention is not to destroy you. Their intention is not to make you miserable. Their intention is not that. Even if that becomes the case, it is you choosing to allow yourself to be traumatized by the experience, because you don't understand, right? When we don't understand, now the experience traumatizes us. When we choose to be understanding, accepting, and then even grateful, and able to experience it from a spiritual angle of, this happened for the better of my soul, and now I am such a better person because of it. Now I can be a speaker and talk about these experiences with an open heart and level head and grounded feet, and be able to share my experiences in order to help others. I'm a super, super advocate for love is the powerful force. Love is the truth. So no matter what I've experienced in my life, the reality is love has always been the force that has helped me through everything, has always been the force that has healed everything for me. So we have these experiences. They develop and expand our soul. They give us a diverse edge. And then love in the end is the source that heals all things. So back to alien beings. I'm trying here. I really am trying. It's sort of smushed in the midst of a lot of spiritual experiences as well. So let's see where I can go with this. So let's just talk about February of 2016. I started to really unfold that I had this spiritual healing ability where I could enter into the spiritual atmosphere. That spirit was actually sharing me information that I could that I could use in order to heal people. So I've discovered this through a few friends that I met in February. My friend Joseph Bradley, and then my friend Tony. And through my connection with them, I started to discover that this creative knack, this spiritual hunch kind of thing, there's more to it than that. I did spiritual healing for them both, and it really turned out to have impressive effects. So I got really into the spiritual side of things and sort of left the physical sort of alien connections, the third eye conversations that I would have with alien beings, and the heart-centered conversations that I would have with alien beings. And the actual feelings, like I could actually feel alien beings standing in the room with me. Even today, I still have those moments where it's like, oh, an alien visitor. Sometimes I feel comfortable with them once I get to know them, and sometimes it's like, I don't know you, and you kind of look freaky, and I don't know you. It really happens. I mean, it happens a lot, and I just sort of, I'm not going to. I get really standoffish. And there's always this sort of message that's kind of like, you know what, the behavior you're putting forward right now is just sort of like human beings that are intolerant of white people, intolerant of black people, or, whatever it might be. It's kind of like a racial thing, a racial intolerance. It's sort of like, okay, so you don't like me because of the way I look. And it's like, well, yeah, actually, you kind of look freaky. I'm not used to your face. I don't see that in my day-to-day routine. Then I don't know what your intentions are. I don't know what you're about. So it does take a little bit of time to adjust. So in February, I started to discover that's when I started doing soul rebirth journeys in March of 2016. So it's fascinating because I'm quite good at it, but I've always been doing this. I just didn't quite get that I was what exactly I was doing until I had real human beings in my life that were on the spiritual level and were kind of doing the same things already. And so I started to discover that what I was doing was actually a real thing. That's why I'm convinced we all can do it. And that's why I'm a super, like, you can do this thing just like I do this thing. Everybody can do this thing. So I started getting really ingrained with the spirit realm and really disconnected from the alien realm of just the physical kind of universe experience, universe conversations in the third eye. Well, so I started doing a lot more journey explorations just on my own of the spirit realm, of earth realm, of, the human world. And I found some very unusual things taking place. What would be like facilities with like massive amounts of soul fragment pieces and soul fragments being tortured in facilities. And it was just like, what the heck is this? And so I don't know why that's there. What am I supposed to make of this? You can do anything you want. So I just choose to see it as a reflection of myself. I dismantle it and then release massive amounts of soul fragments into heaven. And I don't really get why that's there. I still don't know. There's something very strange in another version of our earth reality. Anyway, one version of a discovery I had about it was how do you influence the physical bodies to continue to explore a terror experience? You start torturing their soul fragment pieces and then allowing that type of energy wisdom to enter into the body. You don't actually know what's going on. You don't feel the torture. You don't have a clue. But it sort of influences us. I don't believe that this is actually taking place other than we are choosing to be miserable, and therefore we are manifesting these types of realities in a spiritual version of our earth home. That's the best I can conclude of it. And not choose to go into conspiracy theories related to the government is going to destroy us all. Great. We're supporting the government that we already are choosing to believe is going to destroy us. Why are we supporting the government again? Seriously? And so we just need to choose to love each other, and that changes everything. Love changes everything. So I was a little bit surprised to discover these things in the spirit realm. And then and so I just started working with Joseph. We just started, I would tell him what I would see, and we worked together to start dismantling these things. It just got to such a degree that I was starting to explore my own memories as a human being in the astral, and things taking place in the astral, which was quite disturbing. And that's what kind of opened me up to psychic attack experiences, because I was going through down such a dark road. If you want to rub your nose in dirt, it's going to get dirty, right? And so am I ready for that type of wisdom? Am I ready for that? Is there even value to that? That was the other question. What's the value of truly exploring how dirty and disgusting this world can really be? Like, what truly is the value? It only makes you feel miserable. So you need to start promoting the love energy in order to transform the misery energy, so the reflection can be clean and purified with unconditional love. So I was starting to kind of explore my deeper self, and I still don't have answers to everything that I've seen and experienced. And that's okay. I'm still trying to learn about it. But through that, I started to get really derailed about alien beings, and my connection with the loving ones started to sort of go, get sucked into, like, I closed off the valve, and I didn't want to talk to them for a while because I was just so confused. And then I'm just trying to work through this on my own and work through this with the spirit realm. And my friends Joseph and Tony were really helpful when I had some energetic challenges to help me through those as well. So there always is somebody. Don't ever give up. No matter what is happening in your life, there always is somebody who can help you. There always is, and spirit always provides that no matter what. So I'm talking kind of about, the darker sides of my experience. So you can see that, I'm still a very positive, upbeat, happy person no matter what, because the truth is love is all there is, was, and ever will be. So in July, I still started to feel really overwhelmed by this sort of really intense energy shifts and rifts for humanity. Started to experience, it was just like my soul was being split apart all the time. And no matter what, I couldn't watch television anymore. I was completely cut off from normal. I was freaking felt like people were in my apartment all the time, even though the door was locked, and I didn't know what was going on. I was freaking out. I was having all these weird paranoia issues and severe anxiety, nightmares. Totally unlike me. And I had a very strange experience take place in July of 2016, where I was walking around Gray's Lake, and it was one moment I just felt so happy. I was like, you know what, all that stuff's behind me, and I'm not gonna let that smush me and ruin my joy and ruin my belief that I can be happy, and this can be a happy life, and this world can change, and that we can start being loving towards each other. I just hit a positive moment, and I was walking around the lake, and I just felt so happy. When I feel happy, I start to sing in my heart. I don't have a language. There's no song that I'm actually singing. There's no language I'm humming. There are no sounds to it, but yet there is quite a sound to it. And when it's pure love and joy that comes from the heart, it sounds like singing, and it gets really, really loud. And I was singing to everything. I was singing to the lake. I was singing to the trees. I was singing to the stars. I was singing to my soulmates and singing to, everything. And I was so happy. This was a really terrible moment for me, because in that moment I was so happy. And in that moment of happiness, I literally was... I was basically, some freaky alien came out of nowhere and just basically crushed me. So in my third eye mind, this super happy song that I was singing was just getting louder and louder and louder, and I was just rejoicing, and I was just praising, creation and creative energy and unconditional love, and the gift of this life, and the gift of nature, and all of this. It was bottled up in this beautiful song I was singing, and it got so loud. And then suddenly in my third eye, a very disturbing sort of monster creature, like reptilian beings aren't all evil, okay? They look scary, and some of them are not very nice, but not all of them are that way. We have to alter our perception of truth. Well, this one wasn't a nice one. and it was like a dark green color, and it was sort of hidden in a shadow as well. And the energy was just like pure. It was just like raining pure acid on me, like instantaneously. Singing the song of love, instant acid in the face. And it was just like a freak out moment. I'm like right at the top of the mountain, and then a huge like baseball bat just hits me, and I'm just toppling down the mountain, and I'm just like, ah, what's going on? Instantly shut off my third eye, shut off all my emotions, close my heart, stops talking, instantly close off everything. Nothing, nothing, nothing. La 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 la, I don't hear you. La 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 la, you're not there, you're not real. I was freaking out. And I was just like, why did this happen? Why did this happen? I stop thinking about it. Don't think about it. You'll connect with him again. I don't want to know who that is. It was scary. And so I get to my car, and because I am so sensitive, you know, so I get to my car, I just started bawling my eyes out, and I was like, why? Why? You know, it took everything I had to get to this point in my life and have all these discoveries. I suffered from depression for 20 years. You know, I had issues with drinking, and I've been through so much. I've been through a lot in my life to get to this point. And now I'm finally here, and I'm ready to rejoice, and I'm ready to do this spiritual healing, and I'm ready to connect with people, and I'm ready to change people's lives. And now I'm finally there, and I've had 2 psychic attack nightmares, and now this stupid thing just happened, and I just want to love. Can't I just love already, or can I just continue to be bashed and imprisoned for being a freaking loving person? Like, how much more can this world tolerate? If you're a loving person, we will destroy you. I swear to God, that's like the message of this world. It's the energetic message of this world. And that's why we're so suppressed and then depressed. That's why we're challenged to be our present self, our happy self, our trustworthy selves. Anyway, after that, I just completely closed off for a long time. I did not want anything to do with alien beings. I would not allow myself to be happy ever again. I wasn't ever going to be so loud in my heart ever again. But so it was really hard, right? And all the while I'm having these sort of challenging spiritual experiences, I'm having challenges experienced just in my personal life, you know? And so it was just insanely hard year. It was just never ending, insanely hard year. It's just how much more can somebody stumble in place and keep falling in their face before, like, can't you just let up on me already? Anyway, you just persevere through, right? You just persevere through. If you give up, then, I mean, what's the point of, like, you know, give up, then what are you going to do? Just, like, seriously, you're just going to give up. Well, anyway, I did give up because I needed a break. I needed a big time break. Well, anyway, September comes, and I decide, you know what, I need to get back to the alien beings that I love. I need to get back to these alien experiences that I've kind of cut off from, because that was a big part of my life. Well, anyway, in September, I had this like really unique experience with these sort of miniature blue aliens. They kind of freaked me out when I first saw them. That was in like fall and winter of 2015. And they were just little miniature blue aliens, like 3 feet tall or 4 feet tall, and they were just baby blue colored, and they were sort of in a group of 5, and they have big black eyes, little mouths, and they're totally adorable. Like, at first I was like, get the fuck away from me. I was like kind of freaked out because I was like, I don't want anything to do with you. You look freaky. I don't want anything to do with you. Why are you here? I didn't tell you could come here. Get the fuck away from me. I get really, really agitated. I get really uncomfortable, right? And it's like a really pleasant way to like say hello, right? Anyway, so they were all in my room just like looking at me in my living room. Were they actually there? No, they were not physically in the physical dimension with me. They were in an astral dimension in my third eye. We were examining each other. I was seeing them in my third eye, and they were in the astral version of my space. So so they weren't hurting me. They were really patient with me, and I was like, okay, I guess you're nice. So I don't know why, I just started sharing love and energy and healing with them. And for some reason, I kept channeling like a baby blue energy color, just like the same color of their skin. And they just started giggling, but they weren't really laughing at all. They were just like very curious little children or something. And they started floating and in the air, and it was like they were giggling, but they weren't giggling at all. They're just, they were just like really curious about me. So I had some peppering experiences with them, and one of them was quite strange. I've talked about this in other videos. But I had one where I was sleeping at night, and then the one little guy, I woke up in a sleep state. I was still in sort of the astral or something like that. And I woke up and I saw his big bug eyes looking into my eyes and my eyes looking into his. And I just started laughing and giggling. It's like, you look so funny. You look like a big fly or something. And I just started laughing. And then there was this experience of being just spinning and just, it was just so funny. And everything was just so silly and funny. And then I just suddenly woke up in my room and I was like, I knew I'd seen you in my apartment before. I knew I'd seen you before. And so I got out of bed and started running after their little bodies, running out of my room, running down the hallway into the kitchen back there. Well, anyway, I come down the hallway, and then once I get to the kitchen, I was just like, I discover I was pregnant. And I was just like, just so confused. Everything was so silly, and I was chasing. I thought I didn't understand. And that freaked me out so much that I woke up instantly and was just so confused. And so that was very strange to me, right? I was sort of tapering into the last experiences that I had with them. I had this other one that was really disturbing where it was like in a dream state, and I was constantly having these really, it was just like they were tampering with my dreams, and it was very disturbing. It was very disturbing. It wasn't a loving experience at all, but I didn't choose to be mad at them. I just understood that they were trying to comprehend me, and their version of trying to comprehend me was creating kind of weird, scary dreams. But even in the dream state, I understood it wasn't a real dream. It was like a fabricated simulator dream, and it wasn't real. It wasn't a real dream. I've experienced many of those sort of simulator dreams, and they're kind of stink because they're not real dreams, so your body doesn't actually get natural sleep, and they also kind of feel kind of scary, and so you're constantly going from one scary scene to another scary scene to another scary scene. And you're just like, why? What is going on? And it's not very fun. Well, I've had so that was kind of the last time I talked to them. Well, anyway, September comes of 2016, and I decided, I told the universe that I'm ready to trust again. And I'd seen these different versions of blue aliens and sort of a journey job that I had done. And they had big black eyes, but they were tall, and they were maybe like 6 feet tall, and they had some weird scrunchy here, and then their sort of heads were rounder, skinny, blue color. Anyway, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna explore what these guys are like. So I connected with them. I opened up my heart, and started talking to them in my third eye. Started sharing energy with them, and I told them that I would like to know what you're like. I'd like to get to know you. I'm willing to, explore this some more. So anyway, it opened up a really weird door that wasn't very fun. So now I'm having all these very like consistently not fun experiences, right? And I'm choosing to trust, and this is what I get. So it's like, okay, I don't want to keep opening Pandora's box and get punched in the face over and over again. I'm done. I'm getting so sick of this. It's really like suffocating me right now. Well, anyway, it wasn't a very fun experience, and I started having those really bad simulator dreams again. And I would talk to them, and I was like, why are you doing this? I would get mad at them, and then they would send me an energy vibration back that was just really not, it was just rude. And then I'd be like, all right, and I would be loving towards them, and they would send me an energy vibration back that was just so fake. It's like fake love. And it's like, all right, you guys suck. You guys really suck. And they couldn't sleep that night. And I talked to my friend Joseph Bradley, which he was making videos for a little bit, but his life it's not allowing him to be as vocal as he was. But he is also a really incredible spiritual healer, and I'm really thankful to know him because he's helped me a lot in my life. Well, anyway, he took the time to go and visit those alien beings and to find out to talk to them. We had quite a really valuable conversation with them, and they were sort of helping us both to understand that what these alien type of experiences, there's a lot of them that go on in the astral. So we have this dense physical sort of reality that we live in. So these alien interactions are actually taking place when we like go to sleep at night, and then we can go into a different version of the same reality. Some of us actually wake up there and we have astral projection experiences, yada yada yada. Well, anyway, they were really curious about me, and they were trying to understand my emotional body, because they don't have an emotional body. And so through that experience, they didn't realize that they were torturing me. They actually were torturing me, and it was painful. I could feel it in my physical body, but it wasn't like they were cutting my arm off and then I could feel my arm being decapitated. It was more like a burning sensation, and it just wasn't a very kind experience. It just felt gross. It felt burny. It felt like terror. It felt confusing. And so he was helping them to understand that, and then the conversation was very important. He ended up sharing love into their hearts so they can actually feel what love feels like, because they'd cut off they do not have an emotional body, so how would they even know what love felt like? He just wouldn't stop sharing love with them over and over, and then helping them to understand what they were making me feel inside through the gift of love. And so love helping them, and through that gift they showed him a version of their historical history, their specific historical history, which is where they were sort of going down a road where they were too violent towards each other, just living very violently, and they just slowly started disconnecting from their emotional body and just becoming mind-centered. And so they weren't able to feel or understand feelings, and so now, thanks to him, or thanks to this experience with us both, now they were able to start to understand how to reconnect with love again. And so you see the value of this. It kind of sucked for me, but in the end there was a lot of value, and not only value in understanding their experience, value in understanding how they're interacting with us, because they're interacting with us in an astral plane, not in the dense physical plane. I'm not convinced that there are people having real physical experiences with them, but I'm convinced that more of these experiences are happening with our astral bodies than with our physical bodies. And how is that existent? Is our soul our astral body? I'm still trying to understand it. But you do have an astral body, and it does leave your physical body, and when you are in that state, you can actually look back and see yourself sleeping in the physical while you are a spiritual version of yourself. So anyway, that was really profound. And those blue alien beings, I was so traumatized by that event. I never wanted to see them or talk to them ever again. I was really upset about it. Though they wouldn't stop trying to get my attention, and finally I chose to sit down, and I chose to connect with them, and they actually shared with me a version of an apology that they really did not want me to go on feeling upset towards them, because they really did not have the intention of hurting me. That was what they were trying to share with me, that through their version of a consciousness, they were trying to share with me that their intention was not to hurt me. It was actually, they were just curious about me because I had opened up to them and I'd shared my heart with them. But they didn't understand what love was, and that's what attracted them to understand me more. And through that, they didn't realize that I was feeling anything that they were doing. So that's made it hard for me to want to go back to talking to alien beings. Continuing on this conversation, I have like my best friend ever, alien being ever, is my friend Avery. And I have a huge long story about Avery. I met him when I was in college, my last year of college. I lived by myself. I spent my entire year by myself. And he was just a part of that every day of that experience. He was a part of it, and he's quite a part of my life. I didn't realize that I didn't really know what to make of him. I didn't know that I had the ability to talk to alien beings. I didn't really relate to alien beings even being real. I mean, obviously I knew that alien beings were real, but it just wasn't a part of my reality. And so I didn't really take it into consideration that I could actually have real alien conversations with aliens. Well, anyway, as time has passed, my connection with Avery sort of shifted and changed to where I don't get to feel him as regularly as I used to, and I'm not really sure why. Well, there came a point sort of in July where I started to see Avery again. That was also a time where I was extremely energetically vulnerable because of all the energy shifts, and I can't even begin to tell you what all that means for what that was taking place. I couldn't even begin to describe it, but it's sort of like time shifting. Our souls, I don't quite understand it. It's huge. Whatever took place was absolutely enormously huge. Well, there was a time where I was so happy I started noticing Avery coming back around, and so I connected with him, and in that connection, it was instantly it was a love connection that I was making with him, as I was so happy, right? Which was instantly snuffed out by what was a very disturbing sort of snake alien race, and again, it was sort of that sick, burny, acidic feeling, and I was just like, I'm never gonna look at you or talk to you ever again. I don't want to ever feel that ever again. I'm so sick of this freaky alien energy, grossness energy. I'm so sick of it. I just cut off again from Avery. And so you see how these events are starting to cut me off over and over again. Eventually, I have to come through the cycle and continue to open up, right? You can give up or you can open up. And so I've given it some more time, and I feel that it's valuable to start coming out and having more conversations about sort of the real life of Abby Normal, and then just so you can understand too, and again, I'm not an advocate at all for promoting fear-based wisdom, not at all. And so what I'm sharing is not to promote you to be afraid. It's actually just to promote realism of real experiences that I have and that I have had and that have been scary, and how I have gotten through them and what I've learned from them. So in the recent, I've been getting constant visits from this sort of gray alien race, right? And they've got I was thinking maybe I'll cut this video short and just do it 2 parts or something, but I think I'm almost to the end. So I would say the last month, regularly the last month, I've been seeing constant their faces constantly. And because of everything I've been through, it's just like, I don't want anything to do with you people. Get the hell away from me. I don't like the way you look. I don't want you around me. All you do is terrorize my life. We don't understand each other. I'm emotional. You're not emotional. We don't understand each other. It's like woman talking to man. I'm emotional. You're not emotional. We don't understand each other. Man is like, but I love you. Okay. It's just like, it's so funny. It's like gender conversations. Women are from Venus. Men are from Mars. Like, if human beings are from Earth, Zeta Reticuli, we don't know where you're from. Anyway, it's funny. Well, I've just been kind of skittish, right? And so they're like, they're kind of freaky looking, you know. They're all different colors, okay? They're all different versions. They're all different colors. There's gray, there's blue, there's light blue, there's cream color, there's a color that has like a brownish with a marbling color to it. And there's different sized heads. There's some are short, some are like 3 or 4 feet tall, some are taller, like 6 or 7. Some of them actually glow. And I've seen all different colors of them, all different kinds. Some of them feel really like hollowed out, soulless type of vessels. And then others actually do understand love and do share love, and they glow when they experience and share love. They actually glow. And but still, it's just like I had the glowing ones connecting with me as well, like probably in September and October. But after what happened with those blue aliens, it was just like, I really, like, I know you're glowing, I know you're sweet, whatever. I don't want anything to do with it. I just need a break from all this weirdness. I just want to be a normal human being already. It's just too much weirdness. And it's hard because who gets you? Who actually gets you? You know, and there's a lot of terror wisdom out there that isn't the honest wisdom. It isn't the honest truth. It's not actually heart-centered and going in and trying to understand what this means. It's just blabbing out garbage wisdom and making we just assume and now create more fear. And it's not true. You have to go to the heart of it. I've actually gone to the heart of these experiences and explored them for myself. The heart of the blue alien experience, it wasn't very fun, but in the end, it actually promoted a true value of wisdom. You can't dislike these blue alien beings because they don't have an emotional body. I didn't quite enjoy the interaction, but in the end, it was valuable. So I've been sort of having these regular, I've been seeing these sort of beings and constantly seeing them. And it's just like, close you out, don't want to see you, don't want to see you. Can't I just have a normal life? Quit bothering me. Don't know what you want. Don't want to know what you want. Well, I had quite an experience just before the new year. And basically what was, I woke up in an astral, it's sort of, I'm in the physical, right? But I open my third eye and see an astral plane. And so I see an astral version of the reality. And I saw a bunch of praying mantis beings, which have big black eyes. And I love praying mantis beings. Have always been very genuinely loving, extremely extraordinary. They're like rainbow, so beautiful, so loving, very loving. So I was seeing them, and then I was a little startled because I'd never seen more than a couple. Like, I usually just see one at a time, but there was like three or four. And then they sort of stepped back, and there was quite a few of these sort of marbling type gray alien featured beings. So big black eyes, small mouths, little nose, skinny. These ones were taller, like 6 foot. And I could tell there were female versions and male versions, which usually they're kind of just, they're a no version, they're a no gender. But these actually could smile even. A small smile, and I could tell one was had a female reflection and then had a male, and there were males and females, and they were around me, and they were telling me that they come here to help me. Well, it's like, oh, what can you help me with? I don't want anything that you can help me with. I don't know what your agenda is. I don't know what you're about. You see, I'm sort of like that old grumpy guy on the couch who just doesn't want to be tolerant of diversity. I don't like the way you look. Get away from me. Well, I got to change my behavior, right? You got to be more open-minded. Experiences do promote behaviors. And so anyway, I've been exploring opening up more and not allowing myself to push away. How do I do that? Since I have this sort of spiritual healing journey ability, I can journey into my own consciousness, into my own spiritual atmosphere, see what is there and what is promoting me to have these sort of negative reactions, and then purify those truths so that I can actually start to open up more to those interactions. So today I actually had a positive moment and progress, right? And I was laying down because I do regular healing on myself. And I was laying down and I happened to allow myself to go back to those grays with the sort of tan skin and sort of like a greenish marbling. And I just chose to look into their eyes and see what was there. And it turned out to be quite loving. It turned out to be very positive. And so from there, I felt a lot less resistance and a lot less hatred, sort of discomfort, confusion. You see how emotions create illusions of truth. Until you actually explore it with an open heart, you will never truly comprehend the truth. So it's important that we're actually choosing to comprehend the truth, not just digest what somebody else is saying is the truth, and now we're believing in conspiracy theory terror wisdom, but actually choosing to go there ourselves, develop our psychic senses, and have these experiences and learn for ourselves and be there to support each other through them, because sometimes they are confusing. I have had amazing alien being experiences, and they're worth having. Beautiful, loving alien being experiences, totally worth having. I've also had very concerning ones. Were they worth having? Not very enjoyable, but I can sit here and have a conversation and talk about the good and the bad, and tell you that I am still on the pathway, and I'm still opening my heart, and I'm still choosing to have these experiences, and still choosing to talk about them and keep an open sort of circuit for people's minds. If you're going to explore wisdom on the subject matter, choose to develop your own psychic ability and choose to explore it for yourself. Don't choose to just keep digesting wisdom. Some of this wisdom has not actually chosen to explore it for itself. People will tell you cannot channel, and whatever you channel is going to be the devil. That's not freaking true. It just irritates me to no end, because guess what? I actually go in the spirit realm. I actually explore the astral. I actually know what is there. I actually know what demons feel like, negative entities feel like, what your ego feels like. Ego can feel like a demon. It can feel like a negative entity, but it is ego. It is not a demon. It is not a negative entity. I can discern the difference. I actually know when I'm channeling, I'm connecting with love. I can feel it. It is alive. It is alive within me. I have felt what is reflections of not a consciousness, not love. I don't know what that was. It was like connecting with a computer program. It wasn't real, but I can tell and discern the difference. Am I going to let that ruin my life? And now, oh my God, I'm going, freaky. I don't know what this means. I have fallen off that cliff before and felt quite miserable from it. So you have to just stand up and say it is what it is, and I'm just going to keep loving. And only love is the voice. Only love is the truth. Only love promotes healing. Love is the gift that heals. Terror is the gift that suppresses and then depresses, okay? It is the gift that destroys us all. So we need to come out of our shells. We need to come out of our closets. We need to come out of the darker sides of our reflection and show who and what we truly are. Be ourselves. Be honest. Be truthful. The reason I'm making these videos is because I feel like this YouTube world needs more of the true sides of the psychic experience, true sides of the alien experiences, true sides, the side that actually has contemplated it, felt it, explored it, thought about it, saw the good side and the bad side, saw all these different angles of sides, and actually can help you discover these sides for yourself. It's important. You turn off the TV and start exploring this for yourself. This is the TV. This is the virtual reality. This is the gift. This is the divine wisdom. We can continue to go down the road of suppressing our spiritual identities and disconnecting entirely and then transforming into gray aliens. Or we can choose to maintain that emotional body by choosing to love, and love that supports the growth of emotions and our sexual identities and our connections with each other and our love for diversity and our open and welcoming arms to loving alien beings being a part of this world. So I know this is a super, super long video, and super long videos don't usually get watched from beginning to end. So I hope if the fact that you're already watching the end of this video, thank you for staying with it and choosing to explore it and choosing to think about it and decide for yourself, okay? Just decide for yourself. And that is good. Be your own thinking body, be your own feeling body. So I think this is all I'm going to share for this video. I hope this message is just helping to create an open-mindedness, some wisdom about, psychic attack experiences, how those feel, how you get out of them, how you open up to them in the first place. They're way over, they're sort of on the intercom as being, they're just over intercommed. They can be suppressed really quickly through altering your emotional body and your emotional pattern and your thinking body and just disconnecting and choosing, I'm going to let it go and I'm just going to re-enter into the embrace of love. And then you just slice the butter, get off the dirty, toasted butter, toast crumbs butter, and just start fresh and then just disconnect from it. You just choose to walk on a new pathway. So conversation about that and conversations about alien beings of the recent, not really talking a lot about my loving alien being experiences, which I should make another video about that. And I really feel that the future for me on the near horizon is to start channeling alien beings again and start sharing loving messages from them, because it's valuable for people to discover those voices and start to have more of that awareness that loving alien beings are actually real. So, all right, I'm done. I swear to God, I'm done. I did this with the last video. I just needed to make these. I've been needing to make these. All right, so if you are interested in connecting with me one-on-one, I would absolutely love to visit with you, experience your spiritual atmosphere, tell you what your spiritual atmosphere is like, share the spiritual wisdom to help you on your pathway, share spiritual healing with you to promote a positive experience in your life. And if you're interested in connecting with me one-on-one, I do share psychic wisdom and spiritual healing at my website at abbynormalswisdomquest.com. Thank you for watching my video, and thank you for supporting my channel.